If you are pregnant or you think you might be pregnant. I sound like one of those things off the commercial. If you are pregnant or you think you might be pregnant, do not use this scene. We advise that you... Hello guys. Today is a little more personal than I usually get. I actually posted about this on Instagram. I briefly spoke about my journey with endometriosis. It's something that means a lot to me, and it's something that I wish I had known when I was younger. Any woman or man watching this, I need you to pass this along to any female you know. From 13 to about 14, I think I had like a regular cycle. Nothing crazy, slight cramps, regular time, maybe like 4 days max. It was normal. And then I think from like 14-ish, 15 to like 17, they started getting longer. They went from like 4 days to like 5 days, and then 6 days, and then 7 days. And by the time I really knew it was an issue, I was at about 10 days. My cramps were increasingly getting worse and worse and worse. They were to the point where I was throwing up. I did not want to eat. I could not stand up straight. I was missing school. It was really bad. And at that time, me and my mom, neither one of us knew what it was. I thought that was just the normal way that things happen, that it's just that bad. I'm just getting it that bad. We finally go to the gynecologist, and I was taking Advil for regular cramps, and as they got increasingly worse, he prescribed naproxen, 800 milligrams. I was only supposed to be taking like one of those every few hours. I was taking like 3 every like 2 hours, and it was to the point where he was like, okay, you're about to burn a hole into your stomach. You're gonna get an ulcer and you need to stop. He was like, okay, yeah, you probably have endometriosis. And he kind of explained it, but at 17, I didn't really listen. All I knew was I needed him to fix it. I needed medicine. Endometriosis is when there's connective tissue growing on the outside of your uterus. So that's why when it's contracting, when you're having cramps, it's so painful. And sometimes that tissue breaks off. It's scary. And when you don't know and you're young and you're trying to figure it out, it's something you wish you had answers for. So at 17, I was put on birth control, and I was put on year-round birth control, meaning if you're familiar with taking birth control, you have 4 weeks usually in a pack. There's 3 weeks of active pills, and then there's 1 week of placebos, which means those pills will allow you to get your period. Well, I was advised not to take that last line. So from the age of 17 through 29, so 12 years, I was on birth control year-round with no period. And honestly, I did not care, because the pain that I was going through before was ridiculous, and it's nothing that I would wish on anybody, and it's nothing that I wanted to continue. So when I had the option of getting on year-round birth control, I absolutely took it. And he also said that was the best remedy, was to just stop the cramps from happening. That would prevent more scarring and any damage. Endometriosis without being treated can lead to infertility. It can lead to your scarred uterus. It can lead to a lot of issues long term. That was another reason why I was placed on this birth control, to contain this and make sure it doesn't get any worse. As I got older and I was in a relationship, now married, but I was in a relationship, and you know, as we were getting older and thinking about kids and just learning more about taking medicines every day, becoming a lot more holistic, just wondering about what's going into my body. Taking these pills every day did not feel good for me. I went to a new gynecologist a few years ago. I've been with her for about 3 years now. And she too said the same thing, that it was the best remedy for my symptoms, to calm them down. You know, it shouldn't be any harm, and everything looks and feels normal. So I remained on the birth control, and I just got off this year just because my body started to cramp up even while being on the pills. And I just had a feeling like it was just time for me to get off. And I'm very, very spiritual, so I go with my intuition on a lot of stuff. And my body has really been speaking to me these last few years and just telling me like, it's time to get rid of it. So in preparation for, you know, getting my body off of birth control, I started to look at holistic ways to take care of my body. Funny enough, as I was thinking about it, about 2 years ago, me and my best friend went to the Wendy Williams show. So she shoots an 8 a.m. and she shoots a 1 p.m. We went to the 8 a.m. and because it was a snowy day that day, a lot of people were not gonna show up for the 1 o'clock, people that had tickets for it. So they invited us back and we decided to stay. Lo and behold, Tia Mari, who is like one of my childhood favorites from Sister Sister, she walks on the stage and she is presenting her cookbook. And as she goes into why she created her cookbook, she's talking about how she was diagnosed with endometriosis. And I'm sitting there like, we were absolutely meant to be here. She starts talking about endometriosis and how she had to do surgeries, and her doctor told her that a good way to combat the horrible symptoms of endometriosis and bad menstrual cycles is by changing her diet. I had already been doing that, so I was already familiar, but she opened my eyes to the fact that dairy is a huge cause of these reactions. Those hormones, you know, especially for women who are prone to like endometriosis and bad cramps and things, those hormones are not helping. I completely stopped dairy that day. I do not buy dairy from my house at all. I still eat dairy like on holidays, or if me and my husband are out at dinner once in a while, I'll get something that's dairy. I spoke all good things into existence. I said it was gonna go smooth, and it did. It went very smooth. I am back to a normal cycle, light to no cramping, and I'm just praying that it remains that way. So I'm gonna continue to take care of my body. In the pursuit of doing that, I've been looking up so many holistic remedies to be proactive about it. You know, I don't wanna wait until it gets bad and then I'm like, oh, what do I take? I wanna be super proactive. It's a major reason why I decided to partner up with Empress Body. I've been using the Yoni Sensitive Wash, which is cruelty-free, it's paraben-free, sulfate-free, it's dye-free, fragrance-free. It's completely natural, it's plant-based, and it's just designed to just clean, and that's it. The wash can be used for any woman. It's not necessarily a woman dealing with ailments or any issues. It's for any women that are looking for a natural alternative to staying fresh and clean and having your pH be balanced and having all be good in the world. I can definitely say this, my body's super sensitive to so many things, like just getting irritated by anything. Like if I wear the wrong underwear, I can get irritated. And I can say that in the month or two that I've been using this, I have had no issues at all. You just pump 2 or 3 pumps in your hand, use your hand to clean. You don't want to use wash rags down there. You don't want to use the same soap that you're using to wash your body. And it just helps to prevent any bacteria, yeast, infections, anything like that. I know there's so many other, you know, vaginal washes and things like that, but it's a holistic and clean, plant-based, free of anything that can harm you. The second thing that I've been using is the Yoni Steam. My experience with the steam so far, I've done it once, and that's only because I'm looking for the basin that either sits in the toilet or I'm gonna order one of the boxes to sit on for the steam. So if you're not familiar with what a vaginal steam is, you literally have like boiling hot water. You don't want it to be too hot where the steam is coming up and burning you. So you let it cool off a little bit, but you still want it to be steaming, because that is what gets all the herbs steaming up and making it active and making it do the job that it's supposed to do. So there's packets in here, and it looks like a tea bag. And so you sit that into the water, let that marinate, get all herby and whatnot, and then you sit on top of that and you sit there for 20 minutes. I have a square basin. I boiled water, poured it in there, set the bag in there, let that like steam up and get in there. And it says comfortably like kind of sit over the basin. And I mean, it's a little basin, so I kind of was like squatting over it, so it was like a workout for like 20 minutes. It just wasn't the most comfortable thing. I'm gonna find one and link it under to show you what the round basins look like. And basically you put the water in there, you sit it right on your toilet with the hot water, with the steam, and with the packet. That's gonna be my go-to until I order the box. It's like this wooden chair almost, and there's a hole, and you sit there. No underwear or anything, you just put a towel over your lap. You sit there and you let the steam just go on up and do its thing. The herbs are supposed to cleanse you, help endometriosis symptoms, irregular periods, dark menstrual blood, long periods, painful periods. If you're prone to like yeast infections and bacterial infections, this is supposed to help if you're doing it on a normal and regular basis. I plan to do it once a week. I'm just waiting for that basin to get here. I've done it once so far. Also said to help with fertility. So I want to make sure that my body is as healthy as possible. And I truly believe in taking the holistic way so that you're not adding any chemicals to your body. You're going with natural herbs that are only going to aid you and help your body. It's crazy. I just found out that 1 in every 10 women suffer from endometriosis. And some people don't even know it, and that's scary to me, because 1 in 10, I mean, you look in your family, and there's women that go through life and don't know because the symptoms are not immediate. The fact that it's in every 1 to 10 women, even if you don't have the symptoms, when you go to your gynecologist, ask about it. Be checked. Doctors a lot of times won't check for something that you don't ask for. Be proactive in your vaginal care. That's your girl. Stand up for her, okay? This is very personal for me, but you know what? Like, I feel a calling. God has it sitting on my heart and telling me that I went through these things to share this message. And so I hope that you know what? I know that this is going to help somebody who doesn't want to talk about it, somebody who thought that they were different, thought that something was wrong with them, someone who's going to have a daughter or a sister or a cousin or somebody who has these symptoms, and you're going to recognize it. And that is my goal. Now, I consulted my physician. I talked to my gynecologist about getting off the birth control. She agreed with me that, you know, I need to listen to my body, and if I felt like it was time to back off. She agreed with me. And I am like half and half between medical and holistic. Like, if I will go to every holistic method before I go to medicine. And I've become like that over the years. You know, back when I was a teenager, I thought it was just medicine. Like, that's what you did to take care of yourself. But I'm looking for preventative ways and ways to nourish my body and actually tackle the actual issue rather than suppress it. I personally love the route that I'm going, and I pray and I speak and I believe that it's going to work and it's going to continue to be positive. But this video is in no way telling you, if you are going through this process, to get off your birth control and just trust this. It's not that. You know, make sure you make a decision that feels good for you. It felt right for me. I went with my intuition. It felt right for me at that time, and right now everything is working beautifully and smoothly. I'm using these products that are helping me through the process. If you've been working with a physician, make sure that you talk to that physician about, you know, your symptoms. Everyone's levels might be different. What you're going through might be different. Your case might be different. Having children, like, there's so many factors that can change. So I'm in no way saying this is the end all be all. Like, get off your birth control, ignore doctors, and just go the holistic way. In addition to you taking your medical advice, start doing holistic things that are taking care of your body from the inside out, regardless of what medicines you decide to take. These things are going to help and only aid you in that process. And you never know, it might be better than the medicine you were taking. For me, I feel amazing being off of birth control. I'm so happy that I'm not relying on that every day. It feels really, really good. It's been a long time coming. I'm very happy about it. And so I will do whatever it takes holistically to take care of my body now. Leave some love below, leave some questions below. I will answer as much as I can, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed sharing. Although slightly uncomfortable, I still am happy that I'm able to share this and that I'm able to share my journey, my process, what I went through, in the hopes of someone else avoiding that, catching things ahead of time and preventing it. Okay? Until next time, guys. You know what it is. Keep living in love, in light, and in your truth. Bye.